The twin suns of Corvin Prime cast long shadows across the crystalline desert as Lieutenant Mara Voss knelt beside the huddled mass of fur and fear. 3 Vorkai cubs, no older than human toddlers, pressed against her legs, their needle-sharp teeth chattering in terror. Their parents lay dead 50 meters away, victims of the ambush that had turned this diplomatic mission into a bloodbath. Mara's hand rested on the pommel of her blade, a relic from Earth, forged in the old way before humanity had reached for the stars. Around them, a perfect circle of Krell warriors tightened like a noose, their segmented armor gleaming like beetle shells in the dying light. Lieutenant Voss. General Threx's voice boomed across the desert, amplified by his suit's external speakers. The Krell commander stood head and shoulders above his warriors, his forearms crossed in a gesture that transcended species. Judgment rendered, sentence passed. Step aside. Those are Vorkai spawn predators, killers of 17 Krell colonies. Mara rose slowly, her movements deliberate. She'd trained for 20 years in the Terran Defense Corps, learned to read the body language of 100 species, mastered the art of combat in a dozen different gravities. She knew exactly how this looked. One human, barely 2 meters tall, weaponless except for an archaic blade, standing between professional soldiers and their prey. They're children, she said, her voice carrying across the sand without amplification. Humans didn't need speakers. Evolution had given them something better. Vocal cords that could project, intimidate, soothe, or command. I won't let you touch them. Threx's mandibles clicked in what passed for Krell laughter. Your species confuses me, human. You have no claws, no natural armor, no venom. You breathe an atmosphere that would kill most of us unprotected. Your homeworld is a death world of extremes. And yet, he gestured to his warriors over 300 strong. You stand alone against an army. Why? Mara didn't answer immediately. Behind her, the smallest cub whimpered, and she felt its tiny claws dig into her calf through her combat suit. The Vorkai were apex predators on 17 worlds, true enough. Adult Vorkai could tear through reinforced steel with their bare hands. But these cubs? They were babies, orphaned by the cycle of violence that had consumed this sector for generations. Because someone has to, Mara said finally. She drew her blade in one fluid motion, the steel singing as it cleared the sheath. The weapon was absurd by modern standards. No plasma edge, no molecular disruption field, no graviton accelerator. Just folded steel, sharp enough to split hairs, forged by her great-grandfather in a workshop in Hokkaido. The Krell warriors shifted, their weapons humming to life. Threx raised one hand, stopping them. You cannot win, the general said. And for the first time, something like curiosity entered his voice. Even if you were armed with modern weapons, even if you were in full battle armor, you could not survive. We will reduce you to atoms, Lieutenant. This is your last chance. Step aside. Mara settled into a guard stance, blade held low, her center of gravity dropped. No. Threx's 4 eyes studied her for a long moment. Explain to me why you do this. Make me understand your species' madness. It's not madness, Mara said. It's choice. You said my world is a death world, you're right. Earth tried to kill us every single day. Ice ages, plagues, predators, droughts, floods. Everything on our planet wanted us dead, and we survived anyway. Not because we were the strongest or the fastest or had the best weapons. We survived because we chose to protect each other. Because when the saber-tooth cornered the children, someone always stood up. Because when the winter came, we shared our fire. Because we never ever abandoned our own. Those are not your own, Threx pointed out. Those are Vorkai. They're children. That makes them mine. Mara's grip tightened on her blade. My species learned something during our long climb up from the caves, General. We learned that the strong have a responsibility to the weak. Not because it's practical, not because it benefits us, but because that's what separates people from monsters. Behind her, the middle cub made a sound, half growl, half purr. Its small paw touched her ankle. Threx was silent for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice was softer. I have studied your species, Lieutenant Voss. In preparation for this alliance, I accessed your historical records. I read about your wars, about the trenches of Verdun, about the beaches of Normandy, about the orbital stations of the colony wars. Humans are the most efficient killers in the known galaxy. You have weaponized everything from splitting atoms to collapsing stars. And yet, Mara prompted. And yet every human war I studied included stories like yours. Soldiers who threw themselves on grenades to save others. medics who died protecting the wounded, warriors who refused to leave anyone behind. Threx's mandibles spread in what his species used as a smile. Your people terrify me, Lieutenant. Not because of your weapons, but because you are all, every single one of you, capable of this suicidal nobility. It's not suicide, Mara said quietly. It's hope. Hope that someone else would do the same. Hope that the universe can be better than it is. Hope that someday we won't need to choose between survival and honor. Threx lowered his weapons. Behind him, the circle of Krell warriors stirred in confusion. The general's voice boomed out in the Krell tongue, harsh and guttural. The warriors hesitated, then slowly, one by one, lowered their weapons. I will not tell my people I was intimidated by one human with a primitive blade, Threx said, switching back to standard. I will tell them that the Vorkai cubs were already dead, casualties of the ambush. I will tell them we were too late. And what will you really know happened here? Mara asked, not lowering her blade. Threx met her eyes. I will know that I witnessed what makes humans the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Not your weapons, not your tactics, your unwavering belief that one person, standing in the right place for the right reason, can change everything. He turned to leave, then paused. The Krell will honor the memory of what happened here, Lieutenant Voss, and we will remember why humanity must never become our enemy. The circle of warriors parted. Threx and his soldiers marched into the gathering darkness, leaving Mara alone with 3 terrified cubs and a blade still wet with the blood of their parents' killers. She sheathed her weapon and knelt down, gathering the cubs close. The smallest one, barely the size of a terrier, looked up at her with enormous eyes. It's okay, Mara whispered, in a voice meant only for them. You're safe now. I promise. Above them, the stars began to emerge, the same stars that had watched humanity's long journey from the caves to the cosmos. And in the desert of Corvin Prime, 1 human and 3 alien children huddled together against the cold. Proof that the most powerful force in the universe wasn't hatred or fear. It was the simple, stubborn human refusal to let the darkness win.